For this first separation of variables problem, I need to get all the x's on one side, so I got to get that guy over there. Y's on this side, so I'm going to cross multiply. That is going to give me y cubed dy equals 7x cubed dx. Now I just need to integrate each of these. So I'm going to integrate. I get y to the fourth with a 1/4 out front equals 7 over 4 x to the fourth, and then I'll put my plus c on this side. I'm going to multiply by 4 everywhere because I don't like the fractions, and I can kind of deal with this easier if I do that. So I'm going to get y to the fourth equals 7x to the fourth plus 4c. Now there's multiple ways to deal with this, and you could rename that, or you could solve for that actual c value. What I'm going to do is just solve for 4c, so I'm going to use this guy right here. The 3 is an x, the 2 is a y. So I'll plug those values in to this equation right here. So I'm going to plug in 2 there and 3 there. And I'm going to solve for this guy. So what I get is 2 to the fourth equals 7 times 3 to the fourth plus 4c. And if I use my calculator, well, I get 16 equals 7 times, that comes out to be 81 plus 4c. And what I'm actually going to do is just solve for 4c. So 4 times c. What that's going to do is just, I will later on replace this mess right here with whatever I get that 4c is. So I'm going to have y to the fourth plus equals this mess plus blah blah blah, where blah 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 is 4c. So I'm going to figure out what I get when I isolate just 4c. So when I do that, I get 16 minus 7 times 81, which if I plug that into a calculator, I get negative 551. So what that gives me, if I combine that in for there, so I get y to the fourth equals 7x to the fourth minus 551. And now I just want to solve for y, so I'll do the fourth root. So I get y equals fourth root of 7x to the fourth minus 551. Now, this is subtle, but you may say to yourself, you need to have a plus or minus there. Well, I don't, and that's because if I were to solve for it and be more general and leave this as a c, then yes, I would have a plus or minus. But I go back to this guy right here. That's a positive 2. If this was a negative 2, then I would need to have a negative right here to make it so that when I plug in 3 right here, I get blah blah blah, and then I get if I plug in 3, I'm going to get a 2 out of this after I do the fourth root. But notice I want it to be positive, so I'm going to take just the plus side, not the minus side. Subtle, important sometimes, but you may not have even noticed it. But anyway, so that is my answer.